Today I'm going to be breaking down how you can use Pekka Smash here at Townhall 12 to 3-star any base. So this is one of my favourite strategies here at Townhall 12 because it's fairly simple to set up and execute. You have some healers, of course, for that Grand Warden at the start. You then have Pekkas and bowlers. They are basically all going to be smashing, as the strategy title would suggest, right into the core of the base. You're going to be using a siege barracks to funnel. Honestly, this strategy is fairly self-explanatory. So we're going to jump in and we'll break it down for you. But before we do that, make sure you go ahead and subscribe to us here at the Barracks if you do enjoy these types of videos, because we make loads of them. Alright, so jumping into it, there's a few things we're going to want to identify first of all. The first of all being, where can we use this Grand Warden? His equipment is always going to be that Eternal Tome as well as the Rage Gem. It's very, very important you bring that Rage Gem. That is going to give you the maximum amount of efficiency. It also helps with the healers when you drop them down on him. Now, he is looking to take down a section of the base. Typically, you're looking for that section to try and include some heavy hitting defenses, but if you can't get them, that's not the end of the world. Sometimes even just creating that funnel is a little bit more important. So typically we are going to see him down on a corner. Once you deploy him down in that said corner, you can go ahead, use a Coca-Loon. If you don't know what that is, you'll see we have a balloon flying all the way overhead. That is going to be used to test for any seeking air mines. We are then just going to drop down those healers, let them on the Grand Warden. Of course, do not forget your Grand Warden has to be on ground. If he's on air, yeah, unfortunately those healers will not be able to heal him back up, and you're probably going to lose him very, very early on. But we're looking to pretty much protect him at all costs. We want to hold on to that Eternal Tome ability for a fairly decent amount of time. We definitely do not want to lose that ability too early on into this attack. Now, you might ask, why did we use a rage spell already? Well, that is to speed things along. We don't want to take too much time on this portion of the attack, typically no longer than 30 to 45 seconds for this Grand Warden portion of the attack, and then once you've created enough of a funnel over here on that right hand side, you can start thinking about funneling on the opposite side. And over here we are going to be using a siege barracks, of course, with a few other troops as well. We are going to now get the rest of our troops coming into that core. You'll see the siege barracks, the Pekka and those wizards doing a grand old job over on that left hand side. Their job, pretty much the same as the Grand Warden, is going to be to clear a funnel to make sure all of our Pekkas and our bowlers push right into the core of the base. Now, once you're happy that that funnel is set up enough that your troops are definitely going to push into the core, you're going to want to go ahead, drop down your Pekkas, drop down your bowlers. Again, if you have Coca-Loons left over, use a couple of them. Your healers will automatically transfer over from your Grand Warden onto your troops if they begin to take damage, and then we're going to go ahead and use that jump spell. Now, when it comes to equipment, 100% you're going to want to bring those earthquake boots on the king. The vamp stash is also what we have here, but honestly you can use pretty much whatever you like. And for the queen, we are going to see the frozen arrow with the invisibility vial, but again, that is completely personal preference. Now, in this particular attack, we also went ahead and we tanked that single target inferno using a skeleton spell, which is really, really smart. Out comes those clan castle troops, so we're going to go ahead and drop down that poison spell. That is going to help us to get through them, as well as the enemy healers. Now, this portion of the base is where we were taking the most amount of damage, so this is where we've gone ahead and we have deployed down just more of our stuff, as well as our Eternal Tome. Of course, we're raging up our healers, trying to keep our troops alive, and that Eternal Tome ability allowing them to heal up while invincible. Multi-target Inferno unfortunately causing us a few issues, but you'll see that Barbarian King's ability is basically going to be used to tank on the back end and open up loads and loads of those wall compartments, basically trying to gain us access into all of those back end compartments. Sometimes you might miss one, like this multi-target Inferno here, but that is not the end of the world. We still have plenty of troops left up, including a few Hog Riders which did come out of that siege barracks. We have plenty of spells to swag as well. We have that still queen ability, and this one is going to be a beautiful 3-star coming in. We have a couple of buildings we've somehow missed over here towards that top section. Those are going to go down, and we've got a brilliant 3-star to kick off this video. Alright, moving on to the next one. I would remind you guys, if you haven't already, feel free to go and leave a like on the video. It really does help to push the video out in the algorithm, and let us know down in the comments if you are going to give this strategy a try. Townhall 12 is definitely one of the most popular town halls we seem to see here here on the Barracks with the most amount of views coming to those videos, so I can only assume we have a lot of you guys at Townhall 12 that are enjoying all of these videos. So like I said at the start, if you do, feel free to go ahead and subscribe to us. We're trying to get to that 500 subscriber mark, and it would be awesome if you could join us. But we're setting this up exactly the same way. Now, I have seen some people also using the fireball variation, but for me, it's just a little bit too complicated. I like to keep things simple. Sometimes, yes, the fireball is very, very effective down here at these lower town halls, and yes, it can get value, but for me, yeah, you can't get any more simple, should I say, than what we are doing right here. Now, unfortunately, we made a slight mistake on this one. If we'd waited slightly longer, we could have taken down this Eagle artillery, but unfortunately, we rushed our Pekkas and our bowlers ever so slightly, which means we are now going to have to deal with that Eagle artillery, just firing down 1 or 2 more shots. But it's not the end of the world. We're still going to be able to push on through. We've set up the funnel on the left hand side exactly the same way. We have the Hog Riders now coming out of that siege barracks, and we're continuing to push on through this base. Remember, we do have that Barbarian King's ability, but only if he plays ball, and you'll see right here, unfortunately, he doesn't push through into the core of the base, so we don't have his ability to help us gain access into these back end compartments. Luckily for us though, we do have those Pekkas, which if all 4 of them go ahead and use their attack all at the same time, you can pretty much easily open up a wall section. Jump spell is going to give us some beautiful access into the back end compartment right here. We're going to freeze up that town hall as well as that expo right there, just trying to gain as much value as we possibly can as our troops continue to smash on through. Don't be scared to use those free spells. They are there to help you bring in those 3 stars, and typically you're going to want to use them on the heavy hitting defenses like those Inferno towers, like the Eagle artillery, like the Town Hall. The Town Hall definitely is a defense you're going to struggle to get down, so you want to try and use those spells in to support your troops as and when you need them. But you'll see our troops pushing through, finishing up these last couple of defenses. We still have all 3 of our heroes left up. We have a whole load of Pekkas in there. It looks like 5 Pekkas, and this one is absolutely smashed. So here we are with the 3rd and final example. What I would say is, if you do want to pick up this army, the link to it as always is down in the description below. You guys can go ahead and grab that. It will automatically load this into your account. But here we go. Grand Warden going to be coming from that 12 o'clock section of the base. In this one, you guys can see we have that multi-target Inferno fairly close to the outside of the base. So we're going to take a little bit more time here with our Grand Warden walk just to set things up and to try and clear out this top compartment of the base, and more importantly, that multi-target Inferno. Setting up the funnel is half the battle. Don't be scared to use those rage spells just like we have right here to help protect our Grand Warden as well as speed him along. Of course, we have that rage gem, and this is going to add even more, and it's going to boost his attack speed. Super Wallbreaker going to be coming in right there. We've taken down the multi-target Inferno, so we don't really need to worry about the rest of this compartment. We can clear it out if we want to, but we are starting with our funnel over on that left hand side of the base, and here come those Pekkas. Now, one thing I would add from previous strategies, you need to make sure you don't lose your Grand Warden. Sometimes we get, a little bit stressed about other things and we forget that our Grand Warden needs to be lured over. You have to deploy your troops basically on the edge of his radius or slightly within it to make sure he pulls over, because we don't want him to wander off by himself. We want to make sure he's going in with the core of our army. Now, typically, like I said, you have those super wall breakers. You can use them to open up that first compartment, potentially even the second compartment. You can use your jump spell either to gain you access into the core or on the back end, and you have that Barbarian King's ability as well. Those Hog Riders going to be coming out of the siege barracks, definitely going to be help to protect our troops in the core, just to make sure they're staying in there, because they are going to clear out all of these outer defenses. Troops getting a little bit split up in the middle, but we're going to go ahead and use that Barbarian King's ability. That means we don't need to worry about any more wall sections. We were slightly delayed on this Coco Loon right there, but we're going to keep pushing on through regardless. Another rage spell going to be coming down right there on the 3 Pekkas that are sitting in the core. In fact, 4 Pekkas, they are able to do so much damage. Honestly, typically, even if you think, oh, the attack's starting to struggle a little bit, if you even have a couple of Pekkas left up and a couple of spells, you're going to be sitting really, really comfortably. And honestly, this attack is looking ever so strong. We still have that Queen ability in hand. The King's gone off on his own, but he's going to be able to clear up this bottom section of the base. Of course, we have that vamp stash on him, which is going to help protect him, as he of course brings up his HP every single time he attacks. 20 seconds left on the clock, not a problem for us. The only issue I ever see with this strategy is the fact that those Pekkas can be pretty slow. They can be very, very slow indeed, even with the help of the Rage Gem and Rage spells coming in as well. They can be very, very slow, but that's where the bowlers really benefit. They get the bounce value, they can take down multiple buildings at the same time, and of course we're going to bring in another 3-star. So thank you so much for watching. If you have made it all the way to the end of the video, I really do appreciate you guys. Hopefully you're enjoying all this content, and feel free to check out our brand new clan called the Barracks. There will be a link for that down in the description below if you want to join and do a few wars with us. But thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.